Hey, welcome back. If you're new here, my name is Kelsey and I share all things Cricut and Silhouette related, plus over 200 free cut files on my website, poofycheeks.com. In today's tutorial, I'm going to show you how to use Silhouette print and cut with printable heat transfer vinyl to make super cute tank tops. Let's start out by setting up our mat and paper sizes. I'm going to be using StarCraft printable heat transfer vinyl, and it comes in 8.5 by 11 inch sheets, so that's how I want to set up my paper for this tutorial. I'm using a 12 by 12 mat, then I'll change my paper size to the 8.5 by 11, and if I want, I can do a print border or a cut border just so I know that my clip arts aren't going outside that line. But since we're using print and cut for this design, we're actually going to open up our clip art, and I'm using these super cute peach clip arts I purchased off Etsy, and I want to make it so that we can use the trace feature to trace this design, and then we can do print and cut. So the first thing I need to do is make an outline around the shape of the peach and the little leaves at the top. We're going to click on select trace area and then click and drag around the shape of the peach, and then I'm going to bump the threshold all the way up so the entire shape is yellow. And then I'll do trace outer edge. And what that does is it creates that red line, which is the cut line. So now when I do print and cut, it's going to print the peach, and when I cut, it'll cut out where the red lines are showing. But this is a little too big, so now we want to resize it to be a bit smaller. My goal is to use as much of the paper as I can, so I want to resize the peach to be smaller, and then I want to fit as many of the peach designs on this one sheet of paper as I can. So since each tank top is going to have two peaches, I'm going to mirror one so that they're kind of looking at each other. And then now I want to show you how to set up your mat and make the registration marks for print and cut. And what that's going to do is tell us that I probably don't have enough room for all four peaches on this page. Start by clicking back on the page setup tab, and then you want to click on the registration marks tab and click on. Right now they're set to off, so you'll just click on. You can see now that added registration marks, and it also added some gridded areas to the top and the bottom of the page, and you want to make sure that your design is inside of the registration marks. So right now I would have some of these peaches cut off. What I'm going to do is do a little resizing, take one of the peaches off, rotate one so that everything is fitting. Make sure though that when you're moving things around, your red lines, your cut lines, stay with your peach designs. Otherwise, when you go to do the print and cut, it will not cut in the right place. Once you get everything set up and it's all inside those three marks, we are going to print. And when printing, the most important part is that your quality is set to best. And I always print one page first just to make sure that it looks good. If that first page doesn't come out right, then I know I need to make some fixes. Alright, once everything's printed, it is going to print without those gridded lines. I'm going to go ahead, put it on my 12 by 12 mat, and load this into the machine. Back in Silhouette Studio, we're going to click on Send at the top to send our design to be cut. I'm going to then change my material to image transfer paper, and I find that oftentimes I need to kick up the depth of my blade. So once I get that finished, I'm going to send my design to print. As you can see, it's scanning those registration marks. And then once it scans the three of them, it can determine where the design is on my page, and it's going to start to cut. After the design is finished cutting, I'm going to go ahead, remove it from the mat, and then easily and gently remove the images. There are a few places where you can see it didn't quite cut through all the way, and I'm gently pulling it. And so next time I would probably even bump up the force more than what it was. So now everything is cut out and I am ready to take it to my heat press. The instructions for this say 375 degrees for 30 seconds. The one thing I always do is I lay my shirt out, I give it a quick press just to get any moisture out before I put the design on, and I do this with heat transfer vinyl as well. So now I'm going to take my instructions, just read over them real quick. This is where it tells me 375 degrees with heavy pressure, and temperature and pressure are very important. So I'm laying out these peaches the way I want them. They're actually going to go right on the chest area per what my customer wants. And then the stems are separate, so I'm going to put those, and I use my hands. I know it's not the best way, but that's how I measure to make sure everything is even on the shirt. Then I'm going to press it, and fingers crossed these turn out amazing, because this is the first time I've used this StarCraft printable heat transfer vinyl. It says to peel hot, which means to peel right after it's done pressing. So it was kind of hard at first, and then once I picked up the shirt, it was easy to grab an edge and peel it right off. You want to be careful because it is pretty hot. I had a watercolor look to these peaches. That's how the clip arts were created. That's what the customer wanted, which is the entire reason I did this printable heat transfer vinyl. And it came out looking really good. I couldn't have been more happy with how they turned out. Ta-da! Look at those. See that watercolor look to them? I couldn't have achieved this look with regular heat transfer vinyl. So if you guys are enjoying this video, I'm going to ask you to go ahead, give it a thumbs up, and subscribe so you can see more of our videos. Thank you for tuning in today. If you have any questions, just drop them in the comments below and I will answer them as quickly as I can. Make sure you read the description. We have a full blog post including how the designs held up in the wash, linked below.